here on the Louisiana Hayride. His name is
Hank Williams,
the Drifting Cowboy.
On the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Emmylou Harris.
Hi, folks. This is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer Michael Jonathan.
Dancing in the rain, I'm holding you again, feeling like forever should be far away. The distance in your eyes, like thunder in the night, hiding all your anger and your pain. I believe you might stay with me, but only if we're dancing in the rain. So let your raindrops fall, I'm capturing them all, and the pain that takes you far away. I believe you might stay with me, but only if we're dancing in the rain. So when the morning comes, let your river run with music like we're dancing in the rain.
WoodSongs is presented in part by our family of WoodSongs partners, by the Kentucky Department of Tourism and VisitLex.com, inviting people from all over the world to visit our lakes, mountains, parks, sports, music, and art festivals, and more. You can explore everything Kentucky has to offer your family vacation online at KentuckyTourism.com. And by the Martin Guitar Company, building handcrafted guitars for professionals and front porch pickers since 1833. Online at martinguitars.com.
And welcome, everybody, to the beautiful and historic Lyric Theater here in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. We're broadcasting all over the world, from Australia to Ireland, New Zealand to New York, Yuma, Arizona to the Yukon, across Canada, from Australia all the way to Ireland. And what are we doing? We're celebrating this amazing, wonderful world of grassroots music. It's folk and blues and bluegrass, country, Celtic, old-timey, new singer-songwriters. Sometimes we have opera, sometimes we have poetry. It's an exploration of the art of organic music. And artists come from everywhere to be on our show. We say it every week. You don't have to be famous to be on WoodSongs. You just have to be very, very good. And that's the case of the artist that we're featuring on this broadcast. Has a very incredible backstory, which I think you're going to find riveting and interesting. We have an amazing WoodSongs kid as well, with a beautiful voice. So let's get on with it. He's got a new album called Where the Heart Is. This is a title cut of that album called Home is Where the Heart Is. Isn't that true? Please welcome Lynn Taylor to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
I hear the hinge creak, our back door, I hear you tiptoe across the floor. I hear the pull chain as you brush the lamp. Steady yourself on a drunken dance. I hear the ice cubes hit the glass, I hear the twist top, I hear the gin splash, I hear you whisper on the telephone, telling somebody you made it home, but ain't home supposed to be where the heart is? Ain't home supposed to be with the one you love? I used to listen to everything you said as it were written, some sacred text like a gospel to the power of love in a language that was just for us. I used to feel like a fortunate man, though I had nothing to my name. I had your love to call my own. I had you and me, and that was home, but ain't home supposed to be where the heart is? Ain't home supposed to be with the one you love? Now we got boxes from a liquor store, packed full, everything that's yours. We got an old friend and a friend of his, awkward help to witness this obliteration of a heart that once was full of future, hope and love. And now I'm standing in the kitchen alone, wondering how this house used to be a home, but ain't home supposed to be where the heart is? Ain't home supposed to be with the one you love? Ain't home supposed to be where the heart is? Ain't home supposed to be with the one you love?
The song is called Home is Where the Heart Is. Lynn Taylor, it's nice to have you here on the broadcast. Thank you so much for being part of it.
Good to be here.
Where is home? You were singing about home. Where's home for you now?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Where are you from originally?
Mostly Louisiana.
Louisiana.
I was a preacher's kid, bounced around a bit.
So what was that like as a young kid? You were around congregational music a lot?
A little bit, yeah. There's a lot of that. My dad was a Baptist minister, and we traveled, moved around over the years, lived in Texas a little bit, Oklahoma, East Tennessee, and Louisiana.
Now, we've had a lot of artists on WoodSongs that had a similar kind of a background, and they found that to be sort of musically restrictive. Is that a fair way to put things? I mean, were you allowed free reign musically, or were you kind of put into a certain file?
I was allowed music, but there wasn't a lot of gospel music in the house or anything like that. I just grew up in the church, but my parents loved Simon and Garfunkel and Cat Stevens and stuff like that. So that's where also some of the influence came.
So you had a nice wide array of music, and now was that when your interest in the guitar started? With listening to things like Simon and Garfunkel. Like Paul Simon is like a brilliant, guitar player and arranger.
Yeah, I think it started there. When I was 15, my Sunday school teacher gave me a stack of Dylan records. And he apologizes to my parents every time he sees them because of that. But that's what kind of led me on to the idea of writing songs. And I've been writing.
Dylan has had a fascinating effect on a lot of artists. What do you think that is from? What was it about Dylan that made him such an impactful artist for other songwriters and other players?
Well, I think that he was just visionary as an artist, and he also liberated those of us who don't have the prettiest of voices, So I think it kind of, his songs were accessible.
Well, he thinks he's got a great voice.
Yeah, he does.
Ask him, he'll tell you.
He does. I agree. I'm on that side of that. But I think also, he had songs that were thought-provoking. I just feel like a true artist. And something spoke to me at a young age. And from there, it went to John Prine and Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt.
Sure, those are good good mentors to have musically. I think one of the things that impressed me about Dylan, Woody Guthrie, even John Prine, was not only the good lyrics and storytellers, but their music was accessible. Yeah. Anybody can play those kind of songs because they were not overcomplicated. So it was easy for others to play Knocking on Heaven's Door, or Times They Are A-Changin', right? You know, because Blowing in the Wind, because they were simple performance songs, but the lyric was very powerful.
I agree.
So let's get more into your music. You've got an album called Staggered. Staggered. I got to read my own handwriting. This is a tune called Crumble Away. Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
Years ago, she found an old broken down piano outside a bar. Missing teeth, a broken leg, propped up on a keg, a drunken old stray dog. Friends she'd known helped carry it home all the way to her front door. But the stairs to her flat were anything but that, so they left it there on her porch, singing, "Why do I suffer? Why do I cry? Why am I haunted this way? I was fine before I met you, I'll be fine when I die, but I can't watch you crumble away." The piano wasn't proud, it was upright and loud through the rain, the snow, and the heat. Out of tune, out of time, without verse, without rhyme, it echoed its way down the street, singing, "Why do I suffer? Why do I cry? Why am I haunted this way? I was fine before I met you, I'll be fine when I die, but I can't watch you crumble away." She could hear every note, every song she ever wrote on the porch with her old rugged friend. Wood rots, strings rust, decompose into dust, get carried away with the wind, singing, "Why do I suffer? Why do I cry? Why am I haunted this way? I was fine before I met you, I'll be fine when I die, but I can't watch you crumble away. No, I can't watch you crumble away."
The song was Crumble Away from his album Staggered. Lynn Taylor. If you want to know more about the music of Lynn Taylor, all you got to do is go to the WoodSongs website, click on the archive page. This is show number 1132, and we'll tell you how you can contact Lynn, make his music part of your home music collection. Staggered was an album that came out, and about that time, Rolling Stone magazine said that you and your band were one of the 10 best bands to be keeping track of. So that was quite an honor. But there was a bit of a pause after the Staggered came out.
Yeah, well, before the album came out, my wife passed away, and about 8.5 years ago, I had 2 kids to raise. They were 9 and 13, 2 beautiful girls. And so Staggered came out, I guess, a couple years after that, and a lot of that record pertains to that situation. And it had some good momentum, like you mentioned that article by the Rolling Stone. But I wasn't in a position to do much. You know, I had to raise the kids, and so I couldn't devote a lot of effort to it.
The responsibility of a dad suddenly being the mother and father of a household, that's an intense thing.
Yeah.
So how did you personally handle that? With 2 beautiful daughters that you had to take care of, but you also had to put your career on hold, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just was full steam ahead with being a parent. I have a landscaping company that, kept food on the table, and everybody in Nashville who plays music has a side gig.
They have a day job, that's right.
Day job.
Hey, look, it takes a lot of work to do this thing they call playing.
Yeah.
Right? So, good for you. So how did, let me ask you this, because again, a personal situation affects artists musically. Mm-hmm. And so how did the loss of the mom affect your 2 daughters with you taking over the reins like that?
It's a powerful thing to lose your mother, and fortunately they saw her a strong woman, and they saw her go through what she did for many years. I think that they took that as part of their journey too in life, the strength that their mom had. So it was a good foundation set, and I just kept on keeping on with that.
So how long did it take you to recover from the loss? And I'm sure you felt very empty, and you get a little rudderless there when you lose your partner and you have these children to take over. How long was it before you finally started feeling comfortable playing again? We're going back to the music now.
Yeah, I played. That was therapy for me all through it. I continued to play up until COVID, but I definitely, I think that you don't get over something like that. That stays with you for life. But
was it hard for you to do road dates at first?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was very little of that. We were mostly playing in Nashville or house concerts near Nashville.
Were you doing a band at the time still, or solo?
Yeah, it's a band. I have a band called the Barflies, and they're a great group of musicians.
So having your friends nearby you.
Yeah, it's a family.
Yeah. So that sort of replaces the lost energy, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I was surrounded by a lot of help.
Were you writing a lot?
Yeah, I took some time off writing, but when COVID hit, I started writing again. And this new record, Where the Heart Is, started at that point. And we actually recorded it, most of this a couple years ago. It was done about a year ago.
Well, we're gonna get more into that album in the second half hour. I want folks to stay tuned. But right now, you're gonna do a love song, which I think is very appropriate for the conversation. This is called "Stay with Me." It's Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs.
Waking up, blue black sky, dreams fade, then multiply. All the hours turned into years. We've held on through the tears. Stay with me. smile. I watch the sun slip through the blinds, cross the sheet before it lies in her hair as she sleeps with her dreams still and deep. Stay with me through the morning. Stay with me for a while. I would give my tomorrow to see you smile. For all the times that I hurt you, and all the ways I made you cry, for all the disappointment, I apologize. I hold her close. She wakes up, warm, familiar, gentle touch. We're together in the sun. A new day has begun. Stay with me through the morning. Stay with me for a while. I would give my tomorrow to see you smile. To see you smile.
Song called Stay With Me. It is Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. Beautiful song, beautiful lyrics. I mean, are you a prolific writer? Do you write a lot? Or does it come in spurts slowly?
In spurts, I have a lot of songs, but I've been at it for a long time.
Yeah, so how many albums do you have, like, officially released?
So I have two under the name Lynn Taylor. One's called Cardboard Box, and one is called Barfly. And then two have been released with the Barflies, Hollow Man and Staggered. And then Where the Heart Is the new release.
The new release. And we're going to get into a song from Hollow Man that you did with the band. When you're writing, what comes first for you? Does the chord pattern come first? You fill it in with the lyrics, or does the lyrical idea come first?
It's almost always lyrics.
Always.
Yeah, it's I feel like that's my strength. That's where I start. And
You're a word guy.
Yeah, more word. Yeah.
Now, you got a beautiful sounding Martin guitar. I mean, it sounds gorgeous. It's a beautiful.
Thank you much.
Was
pretty new.
Was guitar your first instrument? I mean, or did you play something else, or?
Guitar is the first. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's get back into your music from the CD Hollow Man. This is a tune called "Supposed to Be." Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
stay out all night long. Get trashed and dance to any old song. She was my partner in debauchery, and that was how it used to be. I hadn't seen her in a real long while. I called her up just to hear her smile. Now she's all hooked on sobriety. She ain't no drunk, but she used to be. She used to be. Chain smoking reds talking about free will. She says that I shouldn't meet the friends of Bill. She claims I got an addictive personality. It ain't alright, but it used to be. It used to be. What is the price of having fun? Thought we weren't hurting anyone. Anyone. We get together now at every chance, trying to learn the steps to a brand new dance. She's on step 7, I'm on 3. This was not how it was supposed to be. Supposed to be. Supposed to be. Supposed to be.
Thank you.
Lynn Taylor on our broadcast doing songs, and we're going to get into his new album in the second half hour. Plus, we have an amazing, wonderful WoodSongs kid to introduce to you, so we're going to get back to all of that. Stay right where you are. We'll be back right after this.
You're listening to WoodSong Show number 1132, broadcasting around the world by the foothills of Appalachia in Lexington, Kentucky. If you would like to attend a WoodSongs broadcast, you can find reservation and show schedules on our website, woodsongs.com. We'll be back after the break with Lynn Taylor and our amazing WoodSongs kid on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. WoodSongs is presented in part by the Kentucky Department of Tourism and VisitLex.com, inviting families from all over the world to celebrate Lexington's 250th anniversary year. WoodSongs is an all-volunteer multimedia front porch for artists worldwide. You can visit our archive of past shows, attend a broadcast while in Kentucky, or become a WoodSongs partner from our website, woodsongs.com.
This is Steve Earle, and you're exploring the world of grassroots music with folk singer Michael Jonathan on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And thank you so much, Steve Earle. Nice to hear your voice, and welcome everybody back to our broadcast. We're broadcasting from the historic Lyric Theater in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. The crossroads of America's folk and bluegrass music is the gateway city into the magnificent Appalachian Mountains, where so much of this art, so much of this music is born and spreads worldwide. And speaking worldwide, we're broadcasting on hundreds of radio stations like Spokane Public Radio in Washington, WHYR in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Red River Radio Network broadcasting across Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas, 98.1 The River in Asheville, North Carolina, WETS-FM Public Radio in Johnson City, Tennessee, and Lace Radio Kamba in Australia, just to name a few that is hearing this show. We're also on American Forces Radio Network. What does that mean? WoodSongs is broadcasting not on one channel, on 2 different channels in 177 nations, from South Korea all the way to Kuwait, plus every single military base in the world, every U.S. naval ship in the world, every Coast Guard vessel sailing in North America. And as always, we want to remember the many men and women that are tuning in, the fans, the public that gets to hear the radio broadcasts of WoodSongs, bringing them a taste of America's front porch all over the world. We're on public television stations nationwide. We're on the RFD television network coast to coast, and we're in schools. If you're a teacher, if you're a homeschool parent, you just go to the WoodSongs website, click on the classroom page. We've got an array of these broadcasts with lesson plans. You get to use them for middle school, high school, even college level classes to introduce kids to this really incredible artistic world of front porch music that WoodSongs is doing, which is why every week on this part of the show, we bring a youngster on to present their art, their talent, their skill to a worldwide audience. And today we want to welcome 16-year-old Gary Reed. How you doing, Gary?
Doing good.
So I understand you like to sing.
Yes, sir.
So how old were you when you started singing? You're 16 now. How old were you when you started?
It's been going on ever since like being in church. So like probably around 4, 3.
How old were you when you figured out you were good?
Like 12.
So like 4 or 5 years ago,
Yes.
you started. In other words, you started taking it seriously.
Yes.
Right, taking your music seriously. And is this something you get to do a lot, or is it like just every week during your?
It's something I get to do a lot. I attend choir, so I get to have more practice.
Do you perform by yourself?
Oh, by myself? No.
Okay, so mostly you're in a group setting.
Yes.
So this is an unusual thing for you to be able to sing solo.
Oh, yes.
Right? Now you're here with a friend of yours, William Fitzgerald, who's playing the keyboards for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you play an instrument on your own?
No.
So you're focused on your voice, right?
Yes, sir.
And who are your heroes? Because every youngster tries to be original, but in the template of someone they admire. That's the person that they're sort of getting inspired by. So who inspires you?
I'll say mostly my mom. You know, she inspires me on singing. My voice, she always tells me, you know, make sure don't go up that octave if you can't go up there, you know, like stay at your level tone. And she like helps me and everything.
Well, we refer to kids with active moms helping them out. We call them momagers instead of managers. And you got a really good momager.
Thank you.
So you're going to do a song for us called "Eyes on the Sparrow." Is this a tune that you've known for quite a while, or is this something new? Is this an easy song for you to sing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's check it out. It's called "Eyes on the Sparrow." He's 16 years old. Gary Reed, this week's WoodSongs Kid.
Should I feel discouraged, and why should the shadows come, and why my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home. But when Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. Oh, his eyes is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
Good job. 16-year-old Gary Reed is this week's WoodSongs kid. So let me ask you a guy question. Most guys, when they're 16, their voices start to change. It's a normal thing. Are you finding that happening as you're singing? I mean, is your approach to the song changing as you're growing into manhood, so to speak?
Oh, yes.
So how does one handle that? How do you control the changes in your voice?
I think it's about like the tuning, like picking different parts to like put which type of tone you want to use for it. It's how I kind of.
Now, at 16 years old, that's a mature way of looking at things and stuff. I mean, William Fitzgerald, your keyboard player, is nodding his head up and down. You know what I'm talking about, right? So singing with a choir like you normally do, does that help you figure out, like, tuning your voice? Because you got other voices around you.
Yes.
So that's a helpful thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So now you're going to sing a song that's very popular. Most everybody knows this tune, but you're going to play a different kind of a slant to it, your own taste to it, right? Okay, and I'm hearing definitely like a little bit of John Legend in your approach to the songs, which is a compliment. It's a compliment. You like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
This is a tune everybody knows. It's called Amazing Grace. He's 16 years old. Gary Reed, this week's WoodSongs kid.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I twice grace that taught my heart to fears and grace my fears relieved. Oh, and how precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
16 years old, Gary Reed, this week's WoodSongs kid. Let's give a big round of applause to William Fitzgerald playing the keyboards. Good job. If you've got a youngster that you think belongs on our broadcast, we want to hear from you. If you are the parent or the guardian of a youngster that you think should be on WoodSongs, please send us an email, a couple of YouTube clips, whatever you got. You just go to the kids page of the WoodSongs website. We look at everything that comes in. So let's thank Gary Reed, 16 years old, and he's a Kentucky fella, so we're very proud of that as well. Home state fella. He's got an album that very introspective songs on it, right, Lynn? I mean, this is the song that you're about to sing is another one of these sensitive subject songs that a lot of the audience may be having to deal with on their own. So how would you explain Twilight?
Twilight's it's a long song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story song. It's something, right now, everybody that's my age that still is lucky enough to have parents in this world are dealing with issues of health, and a lot of it dealing with memory stuff. And I wrote this song actually in my late 20s, and I just never found a place for it because I didn't know anything about it. But now I'm living it with my folks right now, and it is pretty challenging.
It's feeling the departure of the mom and dad that you used to know.
Yeah,
it's a different thing. It's called Twilight Years of Florence and Ebenezer. It's a beautiful song. It's Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs, Old Time Radio.
Florence kept a suitcase back beneath her bed, photographs and band-aids, and a Bible she sometimes read. Through the bedroom window, she often sighed and stared. She wasn't going any place, but she liked to be prepared. 53 years, married to a man who used to have a clue when his life had a plan. His name was Ebenezer. She just called him Eb. Cooked all his meals, served him in bed. And the twilight, orange and yellow, burning through the cold. From the front porch to the lean-to, turned everything to gold. And all around the mountains, valleys they had known, silhouette of memories fading out. Around their home, Ebenezer's body was in constant decline. The years had been his heavy, and they ate away his mind. He walked around in circles, stumbled every day. Once familiar obstacles now got in his way. And his speech was colored blue, purple, green, and red. Hapless words woven by the tiniest of threads. And like a child he would create any name he did not know, but he never once thought of Florence as anything but flow. And the twilight, orange and yellow, burning through the cold. From the front porch to the lean-to, turned everything to gold. And all around the mountains, valleys they had known, a silhouette of memories fading out. Around their home. Florence locked the doors to keep strangers away, a plan that also kept her old man from going astray. She couldn't count the times she'd found him walking down the road, bathrobe and slippers through the rain and cold. They had this old Mercury out in the garage. One night she found old Ed behind the wheel of that car with the engine running, garage door down, called out his name. He didn't make a sound. And the twilight, orange and yellow, burning through the cold. From the front porch to the lean-to, turned everything to gold. And all around the mountains, valleys they had known, a silhouette of memories fading out. Around their home. Florence kept a suitcase packed beneath her bed, photographs and band-aids, and a Bible she sometimes read. Through the bedroom window, as far as she could see, life was rolling on, flowing free.
Very impactful song. Twilight Years of Florence and Ebenezer, and those are their actual names, right?
No.
No? They're just kind of...
It's ebb and flow is the
Ebb and flow?
idea of it.
So, but this is a situation you're actually dealing with currently, right?
Well, not exactly. My parents are both having health issues, and so many of my friends' parents are having it.
Mortality is real, in other words, and
Absolutely.
it does affect a lot of people, and it is something that is common. you know, as folks get older and they lose their ability to function. So that's a song that probably hits hard for many folks that are going through it.
I think so.
Now you have this new album, Where the Heart Is. That Twilight is found on that album, right?
Yeah, that's one of the ones on there.
And that you're going to be doing a song now called Feel Love Again. What is this is sort of a happy way to end the show, because you've been through a lot, and now you're engaged to be married again, aren't you?
Yeah.
So there you go. How does your two beautiful daughters feel about Daddy getting a stepmommy in there?
They're very excited. Yeah, it's a part of life that I wasn't expecting to fall in love again. I thought I had the love of my life.
Were you looking at the time?
No, I think I was feeling like I was probably just going to go through a series of relationships. I thought I had the love of my life, and not everybody gets even one, you know, so I felt very fortunate to have that. So when it did come my way, I was extraordinarily surprised and happy, and you can love twice like that, you know, so that's what this song's called Feel Love Again.
Well, it's a beautiful message. Let's check it out. It's Lynn Taylor on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Where does time go when you're searching for nothing? Who really cares if nothing comes round again? You might think, what does it even matter? If you believe you'll never feel love again. What sound does a heart make when it's breaking? What does a blade feel when the tip meets the skin? What good does it do to even ask the question? If you believe you'll never feel love again. Everything I thought that I knew for certain got all mixed up with what I never knew. Here I am, knowing next to nothing except how I feel when I'm with you. As simple as a rose in a vase on your table, quiet as a pine that whispers in the wind, as true as the touch of your head on my shoulder. I know I can feel love again. I know I can feel love again.
Beautiful song from his album Where the Heart Is, channeling the spirit of John Prine on that one. Beautiful job. Feel Love Again is the name of the song. Lynn Taylor is the artist. If you want to know more about Lynn Taylor, make his music part of your home music collection, all you have to do is go to the WoodSongs website, click on the archive page. This is show number 1132. We're grateful that Lynn Taylor could be on our show, and wasn't our WoodSongs kid, Gary Reed, 16 years old. Did an absolutely great job. You know, We were talking earlier in the show about the simplicity of music, people like Bob Dylan, John Prine, so many others, Townes Van Zandt and others. Woody Guthrie said, any fool can make something complicated, but it takes a real genius to make it simple. And I certainly think that Lynn Taylor, you're showing part of your genius by keeping your music that way. But most importantly is the power of time and how it drifts by us. Young Gary Reed, he's 16 years old, and before you know it, Gary, you're going to be 40 years old, telling stories about how you were on WoodSongs one day, right? You okay? I mean, William's looking over there. He's going, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Well, here's the thing. You've got to use your time wisely because there's only so many nickels in that bank. They get spent with or without your participation. There was a Crowfoot warrior. There was a Blackfoot warrior back in the day named Crowfoot, and this is what he said. He said, "What is life? It is the flash of a firefly in the night. It is the little shadow which runs across the grass and loses itself in the sunset." Use your time, use your life wisely. Do something with your music. Just don't sit around and wait to get discovered. Do something with it in your hometown. Look within the reach of your own front porch. What can you do to help people with your music? Play in a hospital, a nursery, an old folks' home, a school, anything, because that is your time to use your music. My name is Michael Jonathan. I'm a folk singer. I am a song farmer. We'll see you next week on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. Good night.
You've been listening to WoodSongs broadcast number 1132. Michael's opening song was Dancing in the Rain. Our chief engineer is Jerome Galt. Our TV director is Maria Clarish. Technical assistants are Brian Klausing, Eric Anderson, Dan Field, and Gavin Clark. The WoodSongs crew member of the week is Sylvia Davis. And our WoodSongs partners of the week are George and Don Childs. Our show is produced with the support of Martin Guitars, the Kentucky Department of Tourism, and VisitLex.com, welcoming visitors from all over the world to Lexington, Kentucky. Special support provided by Hyper Spring Water, Spring Hill Sweets, Nate's Coffee, and Travel Host Magazine. WoodSongs and the WoodSongs symbol are registered trademarks of Rachel Aubrey Music and distributed worldwide by the WoodSongs Radio Network and PRX, the Public Radio Exchange. For Michael Jonathan and the entire WoodSongs crew, this is Dorothy Edwards. We'll see you soon next week for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. The online version of WoodSongs is a free gift to our fans, provided by VisitLex.com and KentuckyTourism.com, inviting fans and families worldwide to attend our live broadcast tapings at the Lyric Theater in historic Lexington, Kentucky. The encore section is next. You can support our massive online archive of shows by becoming a WoodSongs partner. It's as simple as a PayPal click on our website, woodsongs.com.
Thank you, Dorothy Edwards. Give yourselves a big hand. You are a wonderful audience. We really, really appreciate you. Let me tell you what this crew has gone through. We were getting ready to set up, and we found out last minute that the second artist was not going to show up as they were supposed to. That's only happened a couple times in the history of the WoodSongs broadcast. And we have to say that Lynn Taylor, you really came through. You did a good job. Gary Reed took his performance song and his encore song, put them both of them in the broadcast, and he did a good job too. He deserves a big round of applause. So before we conclude the show with the final encore, I do want to say that we're very happy to report that the WoodSongs community, you as the audience and the audience all over North America, we have successfully collected our goal of 1,000 instruments to bring to the musicians who lost everything in the storms of Helene. We've collected every single one. Matter of fact, we're even going past our goal. 36 drop-off points from Texas to New York. In Roanoke, Virginia, they collected nearly 400 instruments just in that one town. Here in Kentucky, hundreds more that have been collected in Tennessee and Ohio, and everybody's been so wonderful and so generous. And on March the 9th, outside of Asheville, North Carolina, at the Warren Wilson College, a bunch of volunteers are getting together. Trucks are coming in from everywhere, bringing these instruments. We're going to polish them up, clean them up, put new strings on what needs new strings. And all of these musicians that lost everything in those storms, they've lost their cars, their homes, their businesses, sometimes family members, and more. Today, we're seeing a lot more of it suddenly on the news, which is good because a lot of these folks are still living in tents. Can you believe it or not? This cold weather and snow, they don't have homes still. They're still living in tents. And these musicians deserve to have their guitars, fiddles, flutes, trumpets. A lot of schools got completely wiped out, and we're going to be able to get them orchestra instruments and string instruments for their music classes. So the one thing that happened that's a bit of a problem is that there was a company in Ohio that was going to donate their box trucks for us to collect all of these instruments together. And their insurance company came forward and said, no, you cannot donate your trucks and let them drive it. So we have to suddenly rent box trucks and gas and fuel and everything that we were not expecting. So as you're leaving tonight, if you feel like you can donate a little bit to the cause of getting these instruments out there, there's some boxes back there that you can drop a couple pennies in there. We would appreciate it very much to help defray these costs because we're not sure where we're going to get the money to do this, but the instruments themselves are ready. You can also go to woodsongs.com/Helene and you can donate something online if you want to, if you're able to, because these musicians deserve it. So come here a second, Gary. I'm going to let you introduce the encore song, okay? You ready? Because you got a cool voice, right? You're going to be like an announcer person someday, right? So just repeat after me. Just repeat after me. You don't have to think about anything. Say, hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I am Gary Reed.
I am Gary Reed.
I am incredibly handsome.
I'm incredibly handsome.
It works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? I've got an amazing voice.
I got an amazing voice.
And I have a wonderful opportunity to introduce the next artist.
And I have a wonderful opportunity to introduce the next artist.
Please welcome Lynn Taylor.
Please welcome Lynn Taylor.
There you go.
Thank you, folks. Michael, thanks for having me. We really appreciate it. I said before, we have a new record out. It's Where the Heart Is. It comes out in April. It'll be on all the streaming sites. If you catch me after the show, I have a few for sale right now. This is one of the songs on there I wrote with our fiddle player, Jennifer Halliner. It's called Muse. This morning, I stood in the mirror, naked as the day I was born. I cursed Father Time for this body of mine. I got dressed and walked out the door. I broke bread and fumed with my kitchen. We tall, growing old alone. I saw the wine in her cheeks like the heart of a peach, blood red around the stone. Gonna dance with my muse this evening till we tumble like drunks to the floor. Her humor can be unforgiving. She will flirt, she will tease, she'll ignore. Gonna dance with my muse this evening. Even let her take the lead. Consumed by her touch, I love her so
suffer a fool like my love, my darling, my song. Gonna dance with my muse this evening till we tumble like drunks to the floor. Her humor can be unforgiving. She will flirt, she will tease, she'll ignore. Gonna dance with my muse this evening. Even let her take the lead. Consumed by her touch, I love her so much, even when she's laughing at me.
Thank you, folks.
I got a spare room behind the barn for my Mac attack when I'm on the farm. You click it on, then you click around. See the cyber fun I found. Well, I'm a hayseed of the first degree. I'm a country boy from Tennessee. But on the screen I'm so debonair. I'm a cyber hunk